Welcome back into the Sports Source. Someday I will release a DVD of the in-between segment stuff. It's much better than the actual show. This segment of our show brought to you by Madisonville Marine. The boat show is coming up in March, folks, and Madisonville Marine already has boat show pricing available. Rebates of up to $1,500 on G3 models. Rebates of up to $3,000 on select Skeeter models. And a side note here, Madisonville Marine, just a little housekeeping, they're actually adding to their staff right now. So if you have a strong sales background, they're looking for one additional salesperson. If you have a strong sales background, go to madmarine.com, click on employment opportunities, easy for me to say, and you can learn more about the opportunity available to you, Madisonville Marine. But don't forget about those boat show prices already available. And of course, we'll tell you more about the boat show as that time nears. All right, want to welcome in one more member of our panel today down there on the far right end of my desk, the far left side of the screen, Chuck Cavaleris from Tennessee Golf Central, and also, of course, many volunteer-based publications, outlets, shows, you name it. Kind of a jump ball segment here. I'll let everybody jump in. I think I know what the answer is going to be, but I'll throw it out there anyway. Looking at this roster, they're 9-5. It was a team that was picked for 13th in the SEC. I think 9-5 is darn good at this point. You got a road win the SEC already. You upset Butler. You got a good win against Kansas State. Would this team be 9-5 if Cuonzo Martin were still the coach? Anyone? Chuck, you're the new one to the set.
Well, I would say no, because I thought they overachieved at 8-4 before you got into conference play. And, even going on the road and get a SEC win, I don't think Cuonzo Martin had much success early on in SEC play. They might have been able to beat Mississippi State. But no, I think 8-4 before you got into SEC play was really good. And I think you might even have been a little bit worse.
Well, 9-5. I think Coach Martin's style wouldn't have fit to this team because we don't have a lot of offensively skilled guys. So if you're going to run your motion offense that he runs year in, year out, that would not fit this offensive skill set of this team. And because Donnie's put in this zone defense, it's made such a huge impact. It's allowed them to win games that they shouldn't win.
And while he did have to throw the roster together, and it is a mishmash of guys from all over the place, he did at least target people who he thought could fit his system. That's a great point. Mike, do you think this team has the same record if Cuonzo Martin is the coach?
I don't think so, and I don't want to. I'm not knocking Cuonzo. I think Cuonzo did in the big picture overall 3 years, I think he did a really good job here. Nice job. But his teams did not start fast. His teams finished strong, and this team has started faster than I thought they would. So for that regard, and what Mark said about personnel system, I don't think they would be 9-5.
Yeah, you go back, Martin, I think each of his last 4 teams at some stretch down the end of the season, they won 8 of 9 games.
Yeah, they didn't look good in December.
That's right. They were kind of 500 early, and then they would finish hot. Houston, your thoughts on this team if Cuonzo Martin were its coach?
I don't think there's any way they'd be at this point right now. And I think Mark hit on it. It's because of the style of play. And, defensively, we're primarily a man-to-man team when Coach Martin was here. And if you ask this team that we have now, the roster we have now, to play man-to-man 90% of this game, we're losing games by 15 and 20 right now just because we can't match up defensively. And as Mark talked about, too, let's think about the roster and the makeup of the roster. When you got Jordan McRae, a professional player in Australia, Jarnell Stokes, an NBA player right now, Jerron Mayman, who was a man-child on the inside. You had guys that you could put the ball in their hands and they could go make plays. Plus, you had a point guard on the roster, at the time. Not necessarily a true one, but you had some point guards or guys who could at least fill the position naturally, and I don't think at this point in time we'd be there.
And that's another one that we'll never know the answer to. It's like, what would Philip Fulmer have done if he'd given another year? What would Lane Kiffin have done if he'd stayed? It's one of those great unknowns, but what would Tennessee's record be? Would they be better with the 4 guys that Cuonzo Martin was bringing in that went to UNLV, Xavier, Florida State, and with Darius Thompson, who transferred to Virginia? We'll never know.
I'd say no.
You say no?
I say no. Colford's the only guy who's contributing on his roster right now of any of those signees.
There you go.
None of them are averaging more than 2 points a game or playing more than 5 points a game right now. So if they were here, we would potentially be worse than we are now.
Okay.
And that being said, I think we're pretty good now for what we've got.
Stokes, you mentioned Jarnell Stokes. Let's throw that in there too. Where would this team be if you had Jarnell Stokes back?
Oh, they
heck of a lot better.
You could give them 2 more wins easy. That's an NBA first rounder and a spot that is integral to Donnie's defense being that anchor.
Rebounder.
That's be huge.
Let's take a look at our three-man weave here. I'm going to do this throughout the basketball season. It's what everybody's talking about. Bruce Pearl, 9-6 so far. His team was picked for 8th in the conference. Cuonzo Martin was picked for 7th out in the Pac-12. He's 11-5. Hasn't played the greatest schedule, but he's off to a pretty good start there. For Cuonzo Martin, a very good start. Donnie Tyndall, picked for 13th in the SEC. He's 9-5. Look at the RPI, though. Now, a lot of that, especially early on, is based on who you've played. Okay, so no question, Tyndall has played the tougher schedule of those three coaches. He's got the better record. So we'll track that throughout the year. I know a lot of people at home, I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten about that question. Very quickly, though, got to give credit. Mark, I'll throw this one to you. Romello White commits. He's a 4-star guard from Georgia. Was it forward or guard?
Forward.
Sorry. He's a forward from Georgia, 4-star, 2016 class. To get a guy like that, when you're dealing with the distractions and the cloud and the possibilities of NCAA issue, Donnie Tyndall doing something right on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, there's building that relationship, because to take all the nonsense that's being thrown in these recruits' ears and they still get them to come and want to be a part of this, I think it also is an testament to the university and these facilities and the program and the success it's had. They're doing a great job to be able to land a recruit like that.
And plus, there's, like we've talked about in football, there's opportunity here. Yeah. You made so many points about this roster and the talent level, and now if you could just go get you a point guard, how much would that
find you a
help?
point guard? Yeah. All right, guys. When we come back, no national title game for the SEC. So in the bowls. Is something wrong with SEC football? We'll discuss what's happened to the SEC. Coming back on the Sports Source.